Hi, I'm Danielle from Life is a Party, and today we're going to be making these really adorable little paper house lantern cloches. There's a battery powered tea light inside, they light up, and they're the really cutest Christmas decor. And I also have a Halloween version. I'm so glad you're here today for this workshop. If you're looking for me online, I blog at Life is a Party. You can look for me at lifeisaparty.ca. And I also spend lots of time over on Instagram, so check out my page over there as well for lots of really fun ideas for entertaining and holidays and parties and cricket as well. Today we're going to make these really gorgeous Christmas paper house cloches, lanterns. They are really cute and they're really inexpensive to make. So the first thing you're going to need to get started with today is one of these little cloches. And I got these at the Dollar Tree. They are $1.50 Canadian. They're probably less in the US. They're plastic, so not breakable, but I think for $1.50 they look great and they're perfect for this craft. You could use a larger cloche or a glass cloche for this, but I liked being able to show you one that people could find both in Canada and the US and really inexpensively as well. For a little upgrade for the cloche, if you're not digging the plastic bottom, it might be fun to try setting the top on top of a wood base. But I think these are really cute. If you did it with a larger cloche, a glass cloche, you could scale up the pattern a little bit because I've made it, quite small to fit in this little cloche, but it's super detailed, so it would scale up really easily. So those are some options for the cloche. While I was at the dollar store, I also grabbed some of these little battery operated tea lights. I think it was $1.50 for a pack of these. And they work perfectly for this craft. They're not too bright, but they have a nice little flicker to them and they're inexpensive. So you're going to need some of those as well. The other thing you're going to need to make the house is just one sheet of 8.5 by 11 white cardstock. So again, really inexpensive, something you probably have already. You're going to need a little bit of white vinyl, but it's a really small amount, so you might even be able to use just a scrap. You'll also need some faux snow for the bottom and a little bit of Scotch tape. That's all we need, so let's get started making our little paper Christmas house. To make your paper house cloche, you're going to want to start with a blank canvas in Cricut Design Space. And the first thing we're going to do is upload the images. So the upload button is over here on the left of your canvas. You're going to click on it and then go to upload image and browse and look for your downloaded file. We're going to start with house 1. I'm going to choose complex and click continue. And then you want to go in here and you want to make sure all these spots like the windows and the wreath have been clicked on, so they're going to cut out empty and they all look pretty good, but I'm going to just click on the wreath center to double check, and it's so small that you can't see the checker pattern underneath, so we've clicked on it, it should be good. And then we're going to click on apply and continue down at the bottom right of the screen. And then you have a choice between a cut image and a print and cut. This is going to be a cut image, so we'll click on that and then upload down at the bottom right, and it will show up here. We're going to upload a couple more, so we'll go back up to upload image, browse, open our file. We want to bring in the trees, so we'll do that next the exact same way. Going to click on complex, and then this one looks like the background is all removed, so apply and continue. Again, it's a cut image, so we're going to hit upload, and there it is. Now we've got one more, which is our little snowflakes. They have some little cutout detail places in the middle so you can check, but they all look good. So apply and continue, another cut image. And there they are all ready for us to work with. So we can just click on all three at once and click Add to Canvas down in the bottom right hand corner of the screen. And they've all been brought over to our canvas. We need to change the sizes of these a little bit. So right now they're all selected. I just want to work with one at a time. So I'm just going to click off of them and maybe I will zoom out a little bit. So the piece that is the house, we're going to scale it a little bit smaller. If you come up to the top, you can click on the width of it, and we want it to be 6.5 inches with it locked, so it's going to keep the scale exactly how we want it. Just push enter, and now it's shrunk down to 6.5 inches long, which is what we want for these little cloches. Again, if you're trying to make this in a larger cloche, you can play around a little bit with the scale, and you can just slide it in the corner like this, but I can tell you the exact measurements we want for the Dollar Tree size cloche. So this one we want at 10 inches for the width, and again, it's locked, so it's gonna automatically give me the right height on it for our scale. Lastly, we're going to scale our snowflakes. So the measurement for this one for width is 1.8 inches. And if you want to get an idea of how this is going to look in the cloche, I could change the color just so we could see how it looks stacked. Bring this piece up, and this is actually the back. So I can click on arrange and send it to the back. And this gives you an idea of a little bit of what it's going to look like when we have it in our cloche. Now, the trees and the house are going to cut out of white cardstock, and the snowflakes are going to be white vinyl. Because I'm using two different materials, I'm going to make them different colors in here, just as a signal to myself of what material I'm now cutting. So the white pieces are in black, and the snowflakes, which are going to be also white, I'll just make them blue so we know to switch our material to vinyl. Then we are ready to make it. So it's really simple to upload the images and scale them to the right size. So now we're going to click Make It. I have a Maker 3, so I have some different options, but I'm going to be cutting on matte today. So confirm, and it's automatically going to assume it's a 12 by 12 inch piece of paper, but I'm actually cutting this out at 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to change the orientation. And then for the snowflakes, we're going to be cutting those out on a piece of vinyl. So that's fine for those. The next thing you're going to need to do is set your base material. I found that cardstock for intricate cuts worked well. If it's not in your saved menu, you can just search for cardstock and then you'll see it come up. This is a very intricate cut. You're also going to want to make sure that you have a very sticky mat and a very sharp blade. If you do have any trouble with your cutting, if it tears, make sure that you're using a newish mat and maybe put in a blade replacement. That should help a lot. And now we're ready to load the mat and get cutting. So we've got our pieces cut out, and I just need to weed the vinyl. It is a little tricky because this is white vinyl, but I find this tool really helps. Okay, let's put our cloche together now that it's all cut out. So you're going to want the house piece to be large enough for your candle to fit in the middle. I'm just going to use a little bit of Scotch tape. You could use glue if you prefer. And so the candle will go in the middle, the house will be there, and then this piece will go around the outside. I think the easiest way to deal with the outside piece is to sort of roll it onto itself and put it right inside the cloche lid. And then sort of spread it out into position. Now the little tree branches are so fine that they will like catch on each other. So it is a little bit fiddly, but you want it to be down at the very bottom of the cloche and sort of pushed up against the side. It will almost stay there by itself, but you can use a little piece of tape at the bottom. And you can even overlap it very slightly onto the plastic just to hold it down at the bottom. And that's how simple that piece is to put together. To assemble it, you're gonna wanna cover up the black base with some faux snow. This is also from the Dollar Tree. You could also paint these bases if you wanted to. And then you can just put your first piece in. You definitely want to put the candle on top of the snow because obviously you'll have to be able to grab it to turn it on and off unless you get some that are on timers. And gravity will hold everything down because these are probably just going to be sitting on a table. So you don't need to worry too much about attaching it to the base. I like the house sort of in between these two trees, but there's several gaps, so you can do it however you want it. You just sort of carefully position that and it just sort of pops on. And then our last detail is to add our little vinyl snowflakes. And you can do this with just kind of a haphazard pattern. You don't really need transfer tape for these because they're quite small. So the largest one is the big cutout snowflake. There's also in the pattern a smaller snowflake, and there's also some solid white dots, and I think the combo of them is so pretty. But you can sort of position them wherever you like. This is actually 2 sets on this one, and again you can add as many of these or as few as you like. I think the snowflakes are definitely one of my favorite details for these. And that's how easy they are to make. I just love how our paper house lantern cloche has turned out. It is so cute, really inexpensive to make with our Dollar Tree materials, and it looks fantastic. Once I made one, I started thinking, how cute would it be to have a little village of these? So then I designed one with a slightly different looking house. And then I thought the village needs a church, especially at Christmas. So there's 3 in the collection. You can grab them on my website. So lifeisaparty.ca. You can subscribe to our newsletter and you'll be given free access to our free resource library, and the pattern for these guys will be in there. So if you want to make yourself a village, which I think is so fun, it would look great on your coffee table or your mantle or anywhere for Christmas. And these would also be really sweet gifts, and they're really inexpensive to make, which is always a bonus. Well, I got so excited about those. Then I thought I would make a little Halloween one. And this one is so sweet, in a creepy, spooky, sweet way, that is. A couple of things to mention about this one. So instead of snowflakes for this house, on the outside of the cloche are little vinyl bats, which I cut out of black vinyl and did the exact same way as the snowflakes. The little house I also cut out in the exact same way and made the little tube piece for the center. I didn't want to have a white candlelight in it, so I used the same Dollar Tree tea light, and I used some black craft paint and just painted it black. Obviously this one as well I cut out with black cardstock instead of white, but I think this could be a really, again, inexpensive but fun little decor piece for Halloween. And the cut file for this one is also over on the website in the free resource library for subscribers, so you can grab that one there. I really loved creating these little paper house cloches with the candles in them so they become lanterns with you, and I hope that you really have fun making them too. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and also subscribe to our channel for lots more great Cricut projects.